Alrighty. I've been trying to go live for like half an hour. I don't know if we're there. Hopefully we're there. If you can see me or hear me, let me know, and also bear with me. The stream is going to disappear like 5 different times. Alright, let's try. Just a second here. Alrighty, so here. Okay, that's great. Yeah, let me know if like all the levels are alright, if I'm not too loud, anything. So US quarterfinals already. Some of the interesting events have passed. We already know some semifinalists, but let's just jump into a game that I wanted to view between Mingo and the lead surgeon, i.e., Kerry, Ali, and Matt Patterson respectively. And it looks like it is a match, and we'll have the pleasure of viewing a decider because in the first Mingo won, and in the second, well, at least the lead surgeon has an advantage. All right, you know what? We just do some couple of things real quick. All right, seeing here 8 hours remaining, and Yellow appears to have grabbed a gigantic field chances for a Blue to connect. Of course, there's still one in play that fit over here. So that's nice. And of course, Yellow grabs it. So with it, I think go all the last chances of Blue, unless there's still curves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Three curves remaining. So let's assume that Blue is gonna connect over here. Then it will be a tight field. Oh, and Blue might connect over here. Then what if the Blue takes over the field? Maybe he win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24 points in that field, but it's going to be 30 because of these two C's over here. And that, I guess, would be enough for Kerry to seize the victory in this duel, and well, this game and this duel. What Yellow can do now is either try blocking this connection, calculate all the tiles carefully with the 8 minutes remaining, or just simply try to grab points to make sure that even if Blue manages to win the field, then they're still ahead by a couple of. I'm not sure if the latter option is possible given this 5 advantage over here and this 8-4 over here, and although the lead surgeon does have this point road, but here's this 4-point city that Blue has. So most likely that they will end up being decisive in this game. It is not clear to me. Maybe there's still other points of connection, like over here. But the thing is, there's just not too many tiles remaining. So Blue would need to connect over here. Not quite sure about that move. I mean, it's okay, but maybe there was a better way. There was an option to do something with it. I'm still not sure why this connection is not being blocked. It looks like it would be quite important to get rid of this thing. And with this tile over here, Yellow could have done something perhaps. Let's check our chat. Hey, okay, the game's not showing. How do we make sure that the game is showing? Oh, I know. It should be showing now. Is it? Is it? Is it? All right. I think so. Hmm. Okay. Hopefully things are looking okay. There it is. So we have two tiles remaining, and it looks like yellow is going uh, take this game away, and we will be looking at the decider. Right. So we'll probably have enough time only to have. If you observe anything interesting happening in other games, do let me know so that we can switch our attention where necessary. Well, at the very least, I think Mingo could have tied, right? Or am I hallucinating? Yeah, why not just join? Okay, I didn't get this. I didn't get this at all. Oh, yellow the field outright, I guess. So it's gonna be win with a very big point difference. Yeah, point difference doesn't matter. So we had two big scores. I think won the first game with plus 40. Now at plus 50. So let's just hope they rematch each other soon. We're just simply going to wait. In the meantime, let's actually have a look at some other players. Nope, not those. How's KB doing over here? About to finish their game against Zach Bell. I guess we can watch the ending of this game until Mingo and the lead surgeon restart there. Zach Bell appears to have an and if it would be the victory for them in the whole duel. Situation, well, this feeling doesn't look very happy, although there's somehow of him being connected over here. Although there's only one of these guys left, and yeah, and KB draws it. So now actually, Black has more chances. This city looks quite nice and juicy, but the thing is, the last tile that fit in this hole as well. So this means that the people will still remain being quite unhappy with this 1 point in this field and potentially 3 more points in this field. Yep, and Black's grabbing another field, and then will. Okay, the blue of course continues his city, but now another move that Black can do is perhaps, yep, take this other field. Well, is that happening? So I like the prospects of black now. Actually, quite a bit. It's going to be just a couple of points different. A lot of it is going to depend on who draws the city caps to complete the city. But we'll see. The one thing that blue has going for them is the meeple. But now we're equalized, and just a couple of tiles remaining. Great tile for Zach Bell. Will that be enough to secure the victory? 8 points plus for the city, plus 6 more points for field meeples from both sides. Of course, you have to complete the city and drop your meeple on the field. I don't see really any other good options. Yep, and there goes the field meeple. Another opportunity for 3 quick points. Yes, that's one option. Another option was to go there, because now, oh yeah, blue of course will be happy to grab the 7 points, and with them perhaps the victory. We'll see. And the only thing that remains for KB is this little ruin over here. So good move developing that ruin, actually, because if Black knew that there were city caps in the game, then he knew that Blue would use the city cap here. So he developed a ruin to use a city cap. For Blue, I don't see really any of these 4 points, but they probably should suffice. Can't wait. Yep, indeed. So can Zach Bell, who's going to be our second list. And with that, oops. And with that, we will be going back to our original pairing and view the decider, which I believe has already started and has been going on for 5 minutes. Though luckily for us, both opponents are playing fairly slow and deliberate over every move. That's exactly what I like to see in an important tournament. Hopefully that positively influences the Carcassonne that we are viewing. And this means that we did not miss too much. Oh no! Yeah, again, this thing. Thank you, Elias, for making this known to me. Let's just yeah. I haven't streamed in a while, to be honest. Okay, now it should be fine. Yep, is it? Is it? It definitely is. Okay. Nope. All right, let's go. So we see a field that is quite interesting, and blue has the upper hand already because there will be a monastery over here. Too many good connection points. So what both of us will be doing is just grabbing points for cities and waiting for the right opportunity to connect. So for example, a logical move for blue would be just to simply grab these 6, 7 points, and yes, that leaves. Okay, that's something very creative. Yeah, actually, I just think that's a mistake because you have 4 points. Why do anything else? I see some potential intention behind this move, sort of saving this spot, because the assumption is that blue will put the monastery here, and he won't want the monastery to get blocked. It doesn't matter that much. First of all, if the monastery gets here, even with people, that's already a huge advantage for you because you get to win this field. And Also, it's okay to put the monastery in danger as well. Um, yeah, because this is not going to be 100% block anyway. Um, so I don't know. I think I might have missed on some value. Well, let's see how this impacts the end of the game. For example, if yellow now draws the tile and puts it over here, there'll be an 8-point swing that Mingo just created. One is not taking the 4 points herself, and the second is leaving 4 points for opponent. Well, now the run out kind of went very well for her, but still, I'm sure that was quite worth sacrifice of these points. Now that both opponents starting to play a little bit here. By the way, another thing that this move created is this unfinished 4-point round for the lead surgeon. The thing is, with moves like this, is very often if you give your opponent these quick points, maybe somewhere you drop a city cap, or you drop a crossroads, choose, and the opponent doesn't have to fight for the field anymore. So the thing when you're making these moves, if you have to anticipate how that's gonna your win condition. So, for example, right now it looks that whoever wins the field wins the game, but with just 2 more tiles, it's possible um, to change that. So, if yellow manages to complete the city, then that step towards victory, despite this field, because it will be possible to fight back for it through this hole over here, or somewhere through here. There are many ways which is possible to fight. And here comes the tile. 15 for you. And blue gets even more 4 points here. I would assume that's the move. Monastery. And this field, which it is possible to connect, that requires work, that requires spending tiles. So at this moment, it's roughly equal, but maybe I'm even starting to like blue a little bit more. Oh, interesting move. Definitely also possible to try and fit it that way. Although I think I would have waited. These nice 4 points are just so nicely lying around over here. Now that's an interesting one. So Carrie gets a sort of useless tile, and she has to figure out how to extract value from it. That was one of them. Sort of starts a blocking attempt over here, or joining, and the third one was to close it, which I think attention. Now, yellow save himself quite quickly, and this is already a 7 that will start compensating for this 15. 8-point field over here. So if yellow somehow manages to complete that, then he'll probably win, although it's really not easy to complete this at all, because so many of the tiles, the city plus road tiles, are out. So it's only one of these guys remaining. There's only one of these guys remaining. So it won't be too easy to fill in this. Yep, exactly. And another thing is that in order to do that, the lead surgeon had to sacrifice this point scoring opportunity over here. Oh, there we go. And square is blocked to 50%. But closer to the end of the game, if blue is in a winning position, then yellow can take a curve, put it over here, and try to risk 50-50 and then connect to this field and complete at the same time. So there are connection opportunities. This one over here works as well. It's possible to use the curve over here and connect through monastery. Really no haste in doing so. This is a very risky move precisely because of this. Normally, if you start continuing cities like this and your opponent has meeples, you want to really just be patient and wait for the tile that will complete the city. The lead surgeon chooses to do his own thing, and that's understandable as well. If he manages to complete, then that's going to be everything. All right, so one city close. Oh, yeah, of course, finishing the monastery. Almost equalizing in points. It's going to be such a high-scoring game. It's going to be over 100 points for. All right, last chance for Mingo to connect to the city over here and also prevent the all-important field connection. Now, many options with the curve. Either try to reconnect over here, or grab 3 points, or block this square, or protect this city. Opts for 3 points. I can certainly empathize with these points. I be quite greedy myself. So what are we going to see? Starting to attack the field from a or anything else. There is really not much. The problem meepling a monastery isn't in this situation as much as it's pains me to say this, as I love meeple. Ooh, that's interesting. So Go chooses to meeple a monastery that's never going to be completed. I mean, it's okay, but I'm not sure if that's exactly worth it in this situation because there are going to be more point scoring opportunities. There are going to be like little 6-point fields, perhaps, or larger field fights. There could be a 6-point road potentially. Actually, if yellow had more meeples, he could have attempted that. So I'm not sure if that's strictly necessary. I mean, a move like this without a meeple is certainly what I would expect. So Mingo here is experimenting because, in my experience, she's not usually the greediest player. Like she doesn't try to score points at all costs. So I guess she should adjust her playing style and experiment. All right, so this is a nice hole to fill. It's difficult for me to imagine because if you're gonna meeple a monastery like this, usually like this. How stream today? Ilya is asking. Basically, I stream until the end. It's pretty fast, so it's not going to be too late in Europe, and I'm in the Greenwich time zone in any case, so I think I can handle that. We got news that Arab won his pair, so we're going to have Arab against Karki and no, Arab against Zach Beck in the semifinals, and go or the lead surgeon against Karki. In either way, it's going to be an interesting pairing. By the way, that was worth considering was meepling this monastery as well with 16 tiles to go. You can get greedy like this, but on the other hand, it makes sense for Mingo to keep a meeple lurking around in case he would need to fight for this field again. But at the moment, it really is not clear to me how Yellow's going to fight for this game. Like, Yellow has to do something with the field. And then that probably could be enough. Another thing that Yellow could do to win this game is draw the one remaining divider, the city, and complete his city. Well, now that's not going to happen. I'm sure place the tile right over here. Of course, other options need to be, and there we go. These were necessary 4 points. On the other hand, it makes it a little bit more difficult for Yellow to connect over here. Actually, no, because that was just because all the roads are out. There are only Doritos without 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's one of those actually left, and here it is, and here comes the field meeple. So that was really the chance that Yellow had, because had Blue drawn the city splitter, this move would come with a meeple on the field, and it would be just too many points. Now, at the very least, Yellow can do something, either connect this meeple or even try to fight for the city, although there are no triangles, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's only triple city connect. Let me just make this slightly smaller so that you can see. 1, 2, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. So it's worth the 50-50, but this city is actually worth the same as the field, and that's why Yellow's going to risk it. Will that be enough to compensate for the field? Because the field's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 points, because this is tied. And actually, this is going to be roughly 18 points. Maybe that's going to be enough. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be 17 points. So I don't know. But this, of course, is predicated on the lead drawing the right tile. So certainly at the moment, Blue is definitely the favorite here. And it is quite possible Blue can guarantee herself a win if she places the field meeple over here as an insurance meeple. Because there's still one of those guys that can be drawn to lift this guy. So if this curve comes over here, then she could sort of connect a 4th field meeple to fully secure the field. Maybe an option. Another, possibly she could block this connection over here and then try to quick points. With these 2 meeples, it should be enough. And I guess that's what she's doing. So the lead surgeon look really carefully. Does he put the road over here or over here? Matt has 1.5 minutes left, and you better use those minutes to double check all the tiles. Well, let's do that for 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so there was a curve remaining. And there's also one of these monasteries remaining, I think. So I'm not sure why Carrie's saying the style of relief over here. Am I hallucinating? No, there's still one of those guys left, right? So it's possible. So let's say if Yellow connects over here, yellow doesn't. Matt would need to draw a very, very specific sequence of tiles to win, and I'm not sure if even that's going to be enough. Okay, here's comes the city connection. Is that the monastery? Oh, yeah, oh no. So that's the link with that. That Mingo should have the game by about 8 points. Let's. We are remotely accurate. Okay, so ultimately, in the last move, it came down to a 50-50. Had the lead surgeon drawn the monastery, he would have won. But he won another coin flip, so I think blue had most of the game. Yeah, very interesting, high scoring game, around 100 points. The big city over here. That was actually the game decider that um, the lead surgeon was not able to complete this city over here. But blue had enough time to complete the city over here, and that already accounts for a lot of the point difference. And then, yeah, the both opponents saying how intense this was, and it was indeed. So, for advance, and her opponent in the semifinals, the player with the nickname Karki, which is why I would really to watch that game. So Karki, one player on the arena at some point, even though he mostly plays games with expansions, you just have to think slightly differently. It's not like quite still a lot of the Carcassonne mindset this can be still applied to the base game. So I've seen Karki's games. I've actually studied them. I've seen him playing the game, and he was very often some very good moves. And even though he didn't score first in yesterday's tournament, I saw his first game and he just got incredibly unlucky. So I think the pairing Mingo Karki will be. So whoever wins that will probably be the favorites for the championship, in my view. Although I don't know too much about the other players, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So I guess let's just find out when the finals are going to start. And in the meantime, I'm going to have a look if the other guys have started yet. Nope, just turn-based. Can't have enough Carcassonne, both live and then turn-based. I can't play turns at all because when you play real-time games, it's just here and focus. If you play turn games, then this means I would have to think about Carcassonne 7, and I prefer not to do that. So, and in one way, I people who manage to do both. Alrighty, Zach Bell's not playing yet. So let's use this time for a quick break. But before that, if you want to share anything about the championship that I don't know, or ask anything about Carcassonne in general, feel free to use the chat and stuff. Let's see again if the players are about to start at all. The game start in 2 minutes. So we are gonna have a 2 minute break. All right. What are the plans from channel? I am doing well. Can't complain. Yeah, the channel was really a spontaneous idea, and actually, it wasn't originally my channel. It's so there's this board game, Russian board game channel, Lucky God, which is not just for Carcassonne. It is managed by Vladimir Kovalev, aka someone you know, and Batal Albotov, aka Muzhachella. So and we needed an English version for that channel because there weren't really any English speakers to stream that would be ready to stream the World Team Online Carcassonne Championship. And then this thing kind of started going well. So I am planning to keep this live quite regularly. So coming up is definitely I will be streaming a lot of the European Championship games, definitely the playoffs, definitely some of the group stage games as well. With guests in the studio, I have already arranged three secret guests for three secret games. You know, you'll see who they are in late October, early November, whenever the actual tournament starts. And then other plans, I do like making these analysis video that I have several other ideas. Some of them are from my game, some of them from our somebody else's games, and in fact, they were where I spent more time analyzing games than playing Carcassonne, and you know it actually helps to grow more, and there are many things like you. So yeah, do like subscribe and stuff if you haven't already. There will be Carcassonne stuff coming. If there's going to be that we miss, I'm happy to analyze that. Yep. And actually, about the channel, wanted to tell you one more thing. There are games channel for Carcassonne that detailed and cover advanced strategy. For example, one channel in a different board game that I found extremely inspirational is Waited for Settlers of Catan. And they do cover indeed really advanced stuff at international level. You know, wanted to do something like that, but for Carcassonne. But we'll see. One thing at a time, one video at a time. So there's this, and in a couple of days, some analysis, and all right. Come on, when are you gonna start? There we go. Okay, now I'll double check that you can see the game, and yes, you can. Well, no. Asymmetry in cities, but roughly equal position. So Mingo deliberating between two moves: complete her own city or attack Carkeys. And I would have chosen to attack Carkeys because it is more valuable. And this move definitely deserves attention as well. That it's actually quite difficult to draw a city with a road. They're less frequent than a city with a field. Again, not sure about that move. I think it ended up working out temporarily, but I do not think it was worth the 3 points. Mingo will start the block. Two ways to do it. One, if you want to go from blocking probability, you put above over here, because you put it like this, and then you put a straight line over here, and then going to be a hole over here, which is this. So there will be a smaller chance of Karki drawing. These would have been out. Another option, because now it's more flexible, so Mingo can choose between connection and joining. Quite right with the choice. Quite a draw over here for Karki, and the chances of that happening were like 4% at out of 60. Yeah, but it's going to happen once in a while. But I would have moved. So the only difference is the shield. If this city hadn't had the shield, I would have turned it the other way and tried. It had the shield. It's just worth to share. But still, quite a balance. Karki is getting an early advantage, very early to field meeple, trying to cement the 3-point field. 3 points is a lot of points. That's 1.5 of green to build cities on. This city could be completed in the future. And then if monastery goes in here, it creates another patch of green to start a new city. Mango would likely continue her city as well. So no, possibly that's doable. So what Carry can do to counter this? If your opponent is over farming potentially a little bit, then you can, instead of looking for this field, because it's just not worth too many points, you can create a counter field. So let's say if your opponent ends up with a field that's worth 12 points and that he controls with 2 meeples, then if you have a 9-point field that you control with 1 meeple but somewhere else, you are the one with the advantage, because you are scoring more points per meeple than your opponent. So that's the slight danger of over farming. It's actually, now it looks that maybe it's not going to be such a big field after all, because it's this whole okay, now it's explained. The Karki is the name when you play a farmer on your first turn. Yeah. So the thing is, like, sometimes it works, but normally don't do that, because, like, if you're playing against an opponent who knows what they're doing, you will be punished. There was a lovely game. So if you go to the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship that was played in the spring, someone in his match against Hong Kong, I think it was either Hong Kong or Taiwan. I'm pretty sure it was Hong Kong. I'm not sure who was the opponent. Basically, he ended up making it so that the Hong Kong player had a field worth exactly 0. And the interesting thing, the field was huge. It had patches of green and everything. It just started in a little bit of a disadvantageous position. And what someone kept doing is that he built cities somewhere else in another field, made those quite important cities. So his opponent had to fix that. He didn't really have time to do on field. Hotly from Taiwan, probably, yeah. So the early meeples are a little bit dumb. I sometimes do, and I do sometimes get in trouble for them, but that's mostly, if I think carefully, the only time when I do an early field meeple if an early monastery like this, very very start of the game. Because for example, imagine this. Let's say an opponent points in your first move, start a monastery over here. Opponent does something, and when the next move you get a curve or something simple, and then you put it over here, and then you can drop the field meeple. And why you can get away with that in such a because your opponent has no other places to build his or her cities, and that's it. It's just because there's nowhere else to build. Blue has alternatives. As we're seeing, this is somehow working out for Karki as well to prevent these fields from. It doesn't look that easy to accomplish because of. Then maybe with these cities being scored twice is not that bad. But what blue can start a counter for here. It's the right tile. Don't do it with this tile. It's a city tile. Use the city tile to start a city. Either here or here, because you want to score for your road as well. Yeah, that's also doable. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, there was still a time. Like it's gonna be a 9-point field for 2 meeples, and it's not gonna be that easy to develop over 9 points. I mean, I guess it's fine. The main issue is just this city cap that you're leaving for your opponent. That's Kerry being very generous over here. Of course, there's this threat of red putting his third meeple after completing the city, which I think exactly what's going to happen. Now there's more patches of green. And that's the moment where you can use your meeple advantage and start a counter field. So, if we can think, how can blue win this game at all? One is to just massively focus on this field. Another one is to connect over and try to balance the field elsewhere. I don't know, fairly complicated game, some complex decision. With this tile, I guess there's nothing really better to do than to connect over here. Because of getting blocked, there's these triangles, they're not too many. 1, 2, 3, they're out, so only 2 triangles go over here. And these triple C tiles are usually quite difficult to use. So at least that would have been putting it to good use. This is also an interesting move. Definitely something that I would have considered as well. And as we see now, it prevented Karki from getting quite a lot of points because with this tile, he would have completed this city and thrown a field meeple onto the field, which resulted either in a third meeple in the big field or a miniature field for 2 points. So now Karki's betting on this city. I think something that he was considering is separate this part over here. That was a very good tile for Karki to draw. No, for Mingo to draw, because she can now connect with both these meeples and equalize the field. And then we're maybe talking about a victory in this game, although this monastery that can still be gives Karki the advantage still, and this city 6-point road eventually will be a nice addition to Mingo's point collection. So there are now 2 fields worth 6 points and such fields usually favor the side with fewer meeples. In this case, no, the side with more meeples, because in this case, after this is tied at the end of the game, Mingo can grab 6 point here, 6 point here, and that would be just enough to compensate. Oh, yep, and that's the issue now. Mingo can't really this meeple, and most likely it will end up getting blocked, and it will end up costing her 6 points. At least 6 points. That's difference over here. Before meeples, you can and should meeple this stuff, because exactly now it's coins. So if Karki wins this game, then I think the main source of the difference is just grabbing stuff that's found over here. Although Karki gets quite fortunate in fire because before this square gets blocked and comes with a field meeple, and she not even has a shot at winning this field out, in which case you're her the game. Well, it's worth 12 points, and it's just sometimes seeing 5 meeples in a that's worth 12 points can seem a little bit excessive. Of course, this was the correct move, because the thing is, like, once the fight is happening, it doesn't even matter how many points they are in that field. It's just you sort of have to continue it. And now I guess, excellent tile for Mingo. So that comes with, of course, that goes over here. And that comes even with the potential attack on the city. It's far-fetched, but if you just grab another triangle and then another triangle, these things happen. So if the over here went to Karki, now Karki, I guess, would have to prevent these cities from being connected, but most importantly, prevent this guy from ever leaving. Oh, hi. We were just talking about you. And this is, yes, Privet. Also, by the way, if you there's a website I use that I'm going to type in right here. It's excellent. You can in Latin script, in the English letters, Russian letters for you automatically. So what I'm going to do, Mingo. Grabbing points, just how I like it. Karki would really need to do something about the field. But I'm not sure how. Well, maybe over here, but this is sort of blockable. Maybe, but you have to calculate tiles very carefully. And a more efficient way would be to go here. Imagine, because then if there were any of these guys left, and I think, no, they're not. They're all out. But imagine if there was any of these guys left, right? Like this. Then you can put a straight line over here, and then a field meeple like this, and then like this over here. And so you complete your city and to the field at the same time. That would be... Okay, that's just wishful thinking, of course. So Karki just is going for points here, but I'm not sure that's going to be even enough. Because Mingo is at +8. This monastery equalizes, so it's +0. But Ado has 6 more field points and 2 more meeples. So it's -6 for Karki. It's actually -4 for Karki because this city is better than this city. So unless Karki does something risky and important, then Mingo's going to win. So, by the way, here Blue's winning the coin flip, I know he's unlikely to put this tile over here, although actually that's something that she should consider. Because the question that you could ask at this stage of the game is if you're putting this tile over here and scoring 8 points, and you're giving a meeple to your opponent, will your opponent to be able to score 8 or more points with that meeple? And this stage, the answer is probably no. Of course, this move was correct because I actually completely forgot that these fields were not yet connected. So then, yeah. And it's like, that's it. I mean, what do you do if you're Karki? Maybe he could have tried to connect with that tile over here and hope for this guy, but something really, really spectacular for anything in this game. What does Ming go for? 6 more points over here of the city, if that's at all necessary. I guess if I were her, I'd spend 2 out of the 4 remaining minutes to calculate the tiles. So I guess she decided that she would be able to score the points elsewhere because she's not meepling this. And by the way, now that I look at it, then maybe this 1 point was not worth as much as letting your opponent complete a city like this. So maybe Karki has something. By the way, there's this connection spot. And now again, an important tile calculation is, so does Mingo need to block this connection at all? Karki be able to use this little patch of green to connect or not? Or, depending on what tiles are left, maybe she can grab this point, these 6 points over here, and if Karki tries to connect, then she can connect herself. I am a little bit too late to calculate tiles, but while they're thinking, maybe we can try. Speaking of tile calculations, another interesting tool in this tournament that's a little bit new is that no kinds of aids are allowed at all. So usually in these online championships in the world, in the European Championship, they allow pen and paper, but they do not allow static scripts, no pen and paper, no picture of the poster of the tiles on your wall, no, nothing. So of course it's not something that you can check for at all. So you kind of have to rely on the player's honesty, which I'm sure is going to be fine. But it's just an interesting rule change that changes how the people play the game. So with 15 minutes, you can sure calculate everything. But it just makes sure that a larger proportion of the player's thinking time is going to be spent on tile calculation rather than something else, which is fine, but just a bit of a curiosity. Okay, I think Mingo's winning. However, nobody's winning. It's loading. Yeah, so the thing I think is that yep, Mingo's, but before the final tile, she had only 50% probability. I think she could have made it more because it was a coin flip, right? She drew last curve, or actually she drew 2 curves, no, or at least one, and yeah, the final curve. So Karki being able to connect, then that would have been just game over. I mean, it would have been game over either way. I was just meant that Karki would have won. Anyway, Good for Carrie Alley. She, I guess, Elo-wise pulled the first upset. Let's see if she manages to do the other one. Yeah, 4 points. Very interesting game with this double field. So the early field meeple strategy did not work for Karki. That's what we found. I think if you're into meeples and if you want to try that strategy, you have to Brazilian players. They do a lot of early field meeples. The Melvin Quaresma. So he somehow like putting 3 meeples in a 6 point field in the last 5 tiles, 21 points. All right. I assume the rematch is relatively soon. Actually, let's just check how Zach Bell. So, oh, he's still playing his first game against Arab. 6 tiles remaining. Hmm. Yeah, my temptation was like whenever I lose a game because my opponent does something, my initial response is to start doing the same thing that my opponent did. And that included early field meeples. But then you also have to know how to do it properly, like when you put it, and just to see the potential of the field. And then it doesn't end at placing the meeple. Then you have to know how to develop that, or when do you throw in the second meeple? Instead of throwing the second meeple, you can wait for your opponent to throw his first meeple, and then you play the second meeple. So there's with these early field meeples, there's still decisions to be made after the placement of the field meeple. So at the moment, well, it does look that Zach Bell is about to lose his game, although it's difficult to. Arab has these nice small fields visible that that they put their meeples closer to the end of rather than their start. On the other hand, Zach Bell does have this 8 point advantage over here, and it is just not going to be enough. So one thing that Zach Bell can do is gain a further 2 points and equalize over here, or add a point to the monastery. Well, obviously, if all things are considered equal, then you go for the move that scores you more points. Then, if somebody has a city cap, they can close this city and put a field meeple. Oh, but now it looks way more menacing than that. So the move for Zach Bell, he can't really prevent this city from completion if it's possible to complete it all. I guess he can either score points for this city or score points for the city. This would involve some tile calculation to get it right. Ooh. That's a spectacular finish with a city like this. I don't know, is Arab slow rolling a little bit? Or maybe just wants to check all the options. And look at that. Zach Bell doesn't even have a tile to score points for this 9 point field. So he just has to go for points over here. I guess there's not really much that can be done. That's interesting. I haven't seen Genra playing early farmers. And Nocibo does early farmers, but not that early. So here's how Nocibo does it. Nocibo completes cities, and then throws in a meeple on the field. So it's an early farmer, but not as early as Karki. And then Nocebo completes a third city and puts a third meeple on the field if you let him do that. Yeah, that's actually wins a lot of games. And if you're playing against Nocebo, first of all, good luck to you because like he's good at all kinds of other stuff. But then if you're faced with these early field meeple, then you have to make a decision depending on the overall map. It's like, do you enter that field that he's about to develop, or do you go like you start cities elsewhere, or you know I think I'm back now. No, probably I'm back now. At least it says so. And come on. I don't know if you should consider moving to a different country. Like I have three networks from three different industries, and that I could get, but they're still properly. Yep, I hope should be fine. Like if you can message me in the chat or the way I see that you root for Mingo. Certainly the case if you Elo rating or if you look at the first day of the tournament, but she's still the captain of the U.S. team and had had played thousands of games for board game. Semifinals is more of a coin flip. Ay, 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 ay. Okay. I'm assuming things are okay. Alrighty, let's try and make some of this position. Alrighty, let's try and make some of this position. All right. Oh, now, okay. Well, at least we have made some time for some action because Karki is about to connect to the field through this outside connection, which I used to really dislike because it's so high variance. Like if your opponent gets a crossroads, then your meeple is completely cut off. However, in this game, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crossroads are already out, but there were still 2 left, and Mingo's about to leave Karki's meeple hanging. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that was. Well, maybe there wasn't just another option, and Karki had to risk at the moment. By the way, if I were Karki, I wouldn't use the chat. I would still hope that the opponent misses or makes a mistake. Doesn't matter if the opponent is very high level. You just wait and see. Because everybody can get absent-minded and yeah, I know Carrie's answering that she's giving him a meeple. Well, that's very little consolation in this situation, you know. However, There are actually some outside chances, so it is possible to connect this guy through a curve, perhaps. By the way, I think premature field meeple. Just score 4 points first, and then put the field meeple. So maybe Karki's starting to tilt or something, because imagine, yeah, it's just really lost 4 points. Of course, now he puts the city cap, but he could have put this city cap with the field meeple. So let's see, will these 4 points change the outcome? Now for Mingo, just go +1. Like there's no need. Uh, but either way, it appears that that's barely uh, uh, managing. Oh, interesting that you are. I think one of the few people who are calling Carcassonne meeples by like, the proper names. I think yeah, the robber, it's the road meeple. I actually call a city meeple. I mean, the farmer is out for the farm. Uh, and then how do you call a monastery meeple? Is that a priest? At least that would make sense for me. Although I'm not sure if you can call them priests. I guess a monk. Yeah, a monk would make more sense. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. That was interesting. Mingo using this tile to add 3 points from here into the field. And yeah, that's interesting. On the other hand, does this open any new connection opportunities? Because if this city gets finished, is it possible to connect from here? It's actually already possible to connect from here. Imagine if you get a triangle like this, put it over here, field meeple, then curve goes here. So there are still some options how Reds can try and do something with this field. And which is why Mingo blocks this opportunity. Oh, and Karki does not manage to connect through here. There was still this chance, and Mingo will 9 points. I can't imagine her doing it. Knights, interesting. Oh, I assume is that some kind of city shape that I'm unaware of? Karki would have loved this style. Yeah. That's actually an interesting point. That Karki is already congratulating Mingo on the victory, but in reality, there was still a non-zero chance of victory probably for Karki, because I think only after this monastery the game is sealed, or even then. I mean, there's some kind of shrine and connection through a curve over here, perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Mingo will draw the remaining crossroads to cut this one off as well. All right, now or never. Will Karki try that? Have to. If there's at least one curve in the game, then over here above, that's the move. At least just for the show. Okay. Apparently there were not too many tiles like this. It's certainly with this tile. Kark will not be able to connect to the field and do anything in this game. So we're going to have Ming go against somebody. We'll find who that somebody is in a second. So luckily, the second pair is playing at a little bit slower pace. So I think we'll be able to their game at the very. Oh, so there was a curve. So Karki missed his chance. Oh, come on. You count the tiles. I guess maybe that wouldn't have been enough. You have to try. Like, you have to risk hard in situations like this. Now the maximum possible is just 3 points over here or 3 points over here. And it's nice. So let's see. So red could have had extra 15 points. Will the difference be more than 15 points? I think it will be, actually. Oh yeah, it's massive. So nothing much Karki could have done. He also had to complete his city, but the tiles were not just. Congratulations to Carrie for this, and we're going to see her and go quickly to the second. $11 tiles remaining, and Arab again in the lead. Will we have two quick scores over here? Two quick results. Well, although Zach does have this spare monastery. Oh, right, and there's also going to be a bronze game match. I'm not sure if they're going to happen at the same time or not. If they're going to happen, of course, we have to go for the gold medal game first. But we'll see. So if you're Arab, how do you secure the win over here? So first step is drawing the tile that Zach would have liked over here, but perhaps there's something else that fits as well. So Arab could start a little field or start a city in his field when I'm not quite sure about. The thing is, this move is points worth at the moment. Oh no, it's because it's connecting these two fields and then this guy. But it's actually not that important to connect these two fields. If these guys remain separated, then Arab will still have the extra 15 points from here. But now if they get connected, maybe Zach can somehow reconquer the field. But he does have to do it fairly quickly. Okay, it appears that the... Oh, check this out. Outside connection. You put this over here, field meeple over here, and then connect through a curve and score an extra 5 points. In this situation, you have to risk quite hard. Because Zach is down a lot of points. Like, he has to win the field. Which is also one of the reasons why Vladimir doesn't like it, by the way. It's, well, maybe he didn't say that explicitly, but when you play field games where there's one big important field, is that subtle decisions matter less. So, for example, if you're good at, like extracting 1 or 2 extra points of value from a situation, then it just ends up being not decisive. So, if you're a kind of player that has great attention to detail, you want to go for close positions. Another reason is that, and well, actually, I prefer not to play big fields unless I'm the one that I'm controlling them with like 3 meeples or something. Is because very usually inside very game all comes down to the last few tiles, and you can get yourself a 75% chance, an 80%, but there usually will be some kind of outside sequence that will give your opponent this non-zero chance. And if I'm playing against somebody who, let's say, whom I want to win, and if I believe that I'm at a higher level, then I want to play positions that allow me that 100% chance in the end of the game. So over here, I don't think that's going to be possible. So for example, again, another opportunity for Zach to connect through the outside curve. If these curves exist, let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least one more clean curve. Oh, I don't know, but like if you, but blue can't really afford this, right? You can. The thing when you're playing these moves at the end of the game, 3 points are not going to change the outcome most likely. Like it will be. It doesn't do any probability. If you have to risk, you have to risk. So I very often notice sometimes players just give up too early and then start gaining points and not hope. Yeah, check out. So Zach Bell could have won. Field meeple over here, through the outside curve. That's it. Game over. But now he'll just have to either try the same. It's just no longer possible. Or I don't know what else he could do. Okay, there's another opportunity for a connection, but I think it just doesn't work if you place this guy over here and then hope for a city. But it should, if anything. So let's see. Zach could have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minus 3, 15 spare points. If the difference is going to be greater than 15 points, then this means he could have won that game. So Elias, you counted already all the other curves. Because you see, I got lazy, I just only counted in ones. If there's one more, then this means there's one more still, and this means that this is the move. All right, so Zach better use the full remaining minute to recheck all the tiles. Oh, okay, so then it was one curve after all. Still, 50% chance beats 0% chance. Now, Zach could have been in the field, no problems. So he just chose again. He had a 50, so he had actually a 75% chance, not a 50% chance. And even now, the move that had to be played is hoping for this tile. Because at the moment, I don't think that's going to give him the win. Unless I completely miscalculated the points, but I'm pretty sure he does not have enough. So what he can do now is, score one more point for the city or one more point for this. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So he could have had 9 more points, I think. because he did end up scoring 9 points with that one maple, six over here and three over here. But let's see. Oh no, he had 10 more points because he could have used his cap elsewhere. All right, find out. So I'm pretty sure, but yeah, Arab won by 8 points. But Zach Bell, had he tried to crack through the curve, he would have won by 2 points. He would have had 10 more. So that's a little bit unfortunate here that to see a third game, because if anything, I was rooting for Blue just to. But Arab well deserved fields, and yeah, luck in the bronze hierarchy. So I guess there's going to be a quick. Feel free to ask stuff from time, but I'm sure they're going to start quite soon. If anything, the whole thing is running way faster than what it would, because all the games are ending too for some reason. All right. Yes, 50% is literally infinity to than zero, and it was more than that. Oh, by this is something that makes top players to play top players. So I've seen this a lot. Is that they really up until the last tile, and they have this better win statistic, not because they're good at converting their advantage, of course that too, but they can find out some 25 or 15 or 33% chance, some outside chance, some non-zero chance of winning the game, especially when it comes to the field. And I actually care about the play more than the outcome. So, for example, I started the game that I played against Colombia in the Team Carcassonne Online Championships. So the game was that I was playing against the player with a screen name Sex Lexic, who's one of the top Colombian players. And the game was like this: that the field was also decisive, and then I was kind of ahead in points, but I was behind on the field, so I had to tie the field in order to win the game. And drew a curve, and I had to calculate blocking tiles and all the saving tiles for this connection. And, basically, what ended, I turned it the wrong way, so I gave myself 37%. I needed and I won the game, but I still kind of sort of kicking myself, because had I done it the other way, I would give myself 50%, which is way better than 30%. So I normally care a lot about how to get all those good percentages, and then whatever happens. And conversely, there was one game that was playing in a friend Alvin Quaresma recently, and that game didn't go well at all. But at the end of the game, I came up with a sequence that gave me an 8% chance of winning. And I was quite happy with that sequence. Of course, I didn't get the tiles, but at the very least, I knew that, I didn't lose 100% of the game. I lost only 92% of the game. So yeah, that's how you kind of can really hold on. Anyway, let's see if any games are starting soon. Okay, so the tournament organizer says that the tournaments are created. Because all we just have to do is wait. So tournament for the third place. And tournament for the first place has been created. Let's just simply try and look at the players. Okay, we're going for the gold medal game, obviously. All right, so we're going to have Vermont versus Chicago. Uh, both members of the United States Carcassonne national team in the World Team Championships and Copa America. Similar, it's should be close. I hope it ends like whoever wins. I hope we get to see Carcassonne, or maybe this one lasts 2 games, but the bronze medal game lasts games, so at least we get to see as much Carcassonne as possible. So not playing just yet. Churn still resolving some kind of technical issue. All right, we're on. Finally, a game that we get to see from the very start. So we get to comment on the opening as well. Like I really like commenting on the opening because that's where most mistakes are usually made. Like the first 5 tiles are usually automatic, but then after that, the real decisions come in that's going to shape the rest of the game. All right, here we go. So, very similar elo for Mingo and Arab. Also, both quite hot today, and I say both deserve to win their games, even though Mingo got a little bit lucky against Karki as well. But, Mingo was more conservative with his field meeples, and that paid off. Actually, Mingo's really playing well today. Arab, we only saw that, but it just seemed to me that he was in control of the game. All right, we have our first non-standard move, which is doable, but I don't think it's actually the best move because I would have just meepled the roads and slightly constricted the city of blue. The thing is, like at the start, you get to choose between making a move worth 0 points or a move worth 2 points, and since 2 is greater than 0, I prefer to have the 2 points. So this is my advanced 800 elo logic. Uh-huh. All right, Mingo with the early advance. It could actually have something to do with Arab's throw decision, although it's not going to change much. Also, another move that, I mean, it's an okay move for sure that you could have complete a city. But the thing is, when you have so many meeples, it's sometimes much better to start a second city at the same time rather than completing the first one, because there's so many tiles still in the game with which it is much easier to continue a city than start a city. Okay, so what Arab does if he now draws a tube extender? Like, where do you put a tube extender? There's really no place. Here you get blocked. Here you also get blocked a little bit. Or where do you put a triangle? There's more triangle, but it's good to keep a couple of open cities, especially if one of these cities is has no threat of being blocked and is in your opponent's field anyway. But Hungarians hate to take the road. That's interesting. But the thing is, like, I'm really happy when my opponent doesn't meeple stuff. Like when you play sort of like this. Also, the thing is, in some scenarios, if you play road like this, I then get this road and score 6 points. All I need is two curves. That is like not too rare to happen. Actually, that's something that Arab can still do. Like I think somebody should get this eventually. And also, like if you look at the very top players, I think pretty much everybody meeples whichever road draw on the first move. I think all the Japanese guys, Russian guys as well, everybody from Latvia, Lithuania, um, Romania. I'm not sure about, but I'm pretty sure that will be the case for most players. I mean, maybe the curve you can not meeple, but there isn't just not a lot of points in not meepling stuff, because the thing is, I want to somehow get that value out of the first move. Modest though it may. But so far, Mingo does look to advantage. This move, I would have started the city in a different place for the main reasons that now it has two attacking points, but if you start it elsewhere, it has one attacking points. Although it's not, aren't really too many good places to do this. This is a legit move to start a 4-point road like this. I prefer starting a. It's not that to be blocked. There's still 6 crossroads still in the game. Get a curve, put it over here, or you can. It's surprising how on away from a visually dubious solution without your meeple getting. So there's this one very interesting move that I started doing that is not very popular. So imagine this. The first move, your opponent draws and meeples a 2-point road. The second move, you draw a curve and you put it next to the starting tile city cap to kind of slightly block that city cap, and then you meeple that 1-point road. When I first saw this looked like extremely silly to me. But actually, once I've played hundreds of games with this scenario, I can see that it's very marginal, but it is net positive value. Like you don't get. This is really surprising that you don't get your meeple blocked there very often, and most often you just get those extra 2 points. It's very, very interesting. But of course, if you have like a different style of the game, it's maybe I can see how players could see that as too thin. And also, I know some of the players who have a very, very greedy style, like Batam from Lithuania, Murzacello. Actually, even those players, and even he doesn't meeple this 1-point road. So yeah, this is one of the early theory part has not been fully established yet. Anyway, back to the game. So what we see, still to say that Mingo still has the advantage, and I think she still does, because this city is really about to get completed, and there are triangles that still fit in there, and 2 city splitters that's still there. So a lot of possible tiles, advantage on the scoreboard. One thing that Arab has for him is that he has a 7-3 advantage features. Oh, and actually this city isn't even blocked yet. I mean, there's very little chance it will get completed, and if anything, if you are building a city like this, you shouldn't really hope to complete it. You should just try to get points and prevent your opponent from getting in. That's it. So that's something. That's already +4, but still, Mango advantage, and so much so she can even. Yeah, that's okay, but she can even risk it and put this tile over here. Oh, she didn't have to. City, and you know what? Maybe even field meeple. Okay, she didn't even go that far, but this is one where you can put a meeple on the field, because the thing is, Arab will try to fight right now. So, and then Mingo will try to regain this field. But I'm thinking, why do that? Ooh, not sure about that. I mean, it's okay, but I think that's maybe a little bit too greedy. Even I, in all my greed, I would have probably taken the 3 points. Because the thing is, the difference between 3 points and 5 points is very little. And then, so basically, you're investing in Meeple for a spare 5 points. And also, you're placing this guy to eventually block this guy. So you will end up blocking your own Meeple, and you have to. I wonder if that was a misclick, actually. Oh, and so Arab just ends up doing the blocking. Okay, that's fine. I mean, Mango's still gonna win the game, most probably. It's just way too many. And these monasteries will still score her. Because so even with this blocked meeple, it's like 5 versus 6 at the moment. So it's already +1. I mean, it would have been better if it were 3 points in the meeple, but still. It'll be very hard for Arab to come back. Well, the field is now equalized, and Arab does have a meeple, which is, by the way, why this was important. So the thing is, in games where fields are important, you want to play your monasteries a little bit more conservative. And which is, by the way, I do often because I like monasteries so much. I don't like sacrificing them all. Interesting. Again, I'm really not sure why not put this tile the other way. One to the right was a little bit more correct. Also, a move that I hope Kerry was considered is even going as far as starting a new city over here. It looks a little bit dangerous, but you can get away. Well, turned out pretty well for her. Plus 24 on the scoreboards. Actually, Arab needs to come up with something really spectacular. Will he now attack the field with the third meeple? It's over here, or 2 points over here. I would go probably points over here. Check this out. You can get yourself 4 points. Well, this, and put a meeple on the field. I kind of like that. Yep, there we go. Well done. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize Mingo had no meeples at that moment. Doesn't look like her. I mean, I usually end up with no meeples, but I haven't seen really Mingo using her meeples this generously. But good for her. I think that's really the way to go. It's more entertaining to watch when opponents risk their meeples in such a way. All right, now there's an interesting question. Do you score 6 points over here with the risk of your other monk, I said correctly this time, being blocked? Do you score 4 points? Or do you continue the field fight? The answer to the last one is no. Do not continue the field fight just yet, I would say, because there's still at least 2 connection time. You could just do it with a better tile. The thing is, this far ahead, what she can ensure that the game without the field, even she can afford to lose the field. A couple more quick points, then she'll lose the field. And by the way, this is something I was about to say, that you can save both, and then you can potentially score the city. Yeah, and so she goes. So she will really try to get this meeple back. And there are 1, 2. Oh, there's still 5 tiles that here. So then this will fit in really nicely. Another good move that was worth considering was in a greedy fashion, with this tile grabbing these 4 points, because it's still a passive defense, and I think it's actually good enough passive defense, because the thing is, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 crossroads already out. So if you score the city you commit this space to a straight line, there's not so much stuff left with which this square would have blocked. So I think really Kerry could have extracted 8 more points out of this situation, or at least 6 more points out of the situation by scoring the 4 points over here, and at the same time protecting this. So she went for the more conservative stuff. I really like this move. That was also an attempt how to squeeze the maximum value out of it, because eventually something will come over here. Okay, well, one tile fewer that can go over here. Still this nice 94% chance, and also a 75% chance that the tile that Mingo really wants over here is that extender with a shield. Oh, never mind. There's also one. So there's only one more left as opposed to 2 more left. Still, enough tiles to fill in this hole, because in a field that she's likely to lose, let's say she doesn't want to have too many cities. Like you want to reduce the variance at this point. But given the many caps over here and over here, that probably will not be possible. I think she'll be still able to tie it. Although I'm not sure, so she could start attacking it from here. Although I'm not sure I'd quite do that, just because it's really not the best tile. But maybe she has to. Nice. Blocking this guy instead. If Arab draws a couple more of these city caps, and he'll just equalize the game. And now also we see that this field is becoming very big, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Super important. And also, most importantly, a Mingo of stuff to put over here. Like, she really, really needs. And if you're Arab, you really want to close this down before you even. An alternative is to. We also have to look at Corvus for value, assuming that he needs to take as many points as he can get. He's getting really nice tiles that can score quick points. I would probably just score 3 points here, because you can't really use this tile in a field fight. Okay, you can also do that, provided there's a sufficient number of these guys. But the thing is, at this point, when you're so far ahead, then you want to go for 100% options. So whatever the quantity of the tiles remaining that fit here, it gives Mingo less than 100% chance. And I'm not sure it's good enough. It's just the way the situation looks, with the point difference, I think she could still go just for these quick points and try to win the game that way. So if I were her, well, 2 options. One is you can score 3 points over here. The other option is you can connect through here. Maybe this one's slightly better. Oh. Actually, never mind. The green is winning this. Like, I can't see how Mingo is going to connect 2 meeples. So maybe 3 points is the way. And if you think about it, okay, let's count up. Mingo is at plus 26. Plus is at plus 31. 4. And now she's going to be at plus 50. Now, if she manages to connect, this field will only be worth 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30 points. So this means that she will be at plus. So this is why this move was like a little bit risky. I think she could have ensured that she just grabs enough of these quick points that nothing matters. Like she doesn't even have to win the city. She doesn't even have to do anything. Because at the moment, it kind of feels that she has to take these 4 points, despite them leading to a block potentially. This move, not sure about again. I mean, there wasn't like too many things that could have been done with this tile, but it is plus 1 point at best. Because here's the thing: like if you think that you're gonna connect, then it doesn't make sense to be playing here because these points will be shared. And if you think that you're not going to be able to connect, then it makes way more sense to take 4 points rather than 1 point. Well, perhaps good move by the way, sealing off the final connection. So Mingo is hoping to get 2 field meeples after all. Arab can just grab either 7 points over here or 4 points over here. Yeah, and kind of now comes the problem that Mingo can connect the field meeples, but where's the fourth meeple going to come? We're hallucinating, right? I think it's 4 versus 3, right? There's green meeples. I'm not. Yeah. Unless there's something wrong with me. It could very well be the case. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, check this out. Melvin Quaresma's here. You should have come earlier because there was a game of Karki playing against Mingo where he placed 2 very early meeple, and I'm sure you would have something to comment about that. All right. Well, I think something needs to happen very, very soon. All right. So Arab gave the chance to Mingo. If there's one curve at all in the game, is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. Oh, it would have been so nice. Or maybe there's still curves with the city, but I don't think it's likely. Yeah, these guys are also out as well. This was a potential spot. Maybe other kinds of curves, in which case Mingo here on the outside. But still, it is quite unfortunate that the strategy is not very. She's at plus 30, but it doesn't matter. Slightly larger, and the city is. So at some point, I think maybe she's indecisive about the strategy because you think either you fight for the field or you go for in terms of quick points. She went for these quick points. It was working very well. She had points. But then I think with this move, when she was trying to connect, that wasn't like strictly necessary. If she just grabbed a few more points, 3 points for the road over here, then 4 points for the city over here, then she wouldn't even have to connect. Again, also something that she needs to calculate. Is it a thing? Oh, that was Arab's move. All right. So she has a curve that will give her the win. And it's really the only move. Or will it give her the win? Great counterplay by Arab. So he so it turns out he had this stuff calculated. He even had 100% chance. This is so nice. This is actually very often what you can do when you're fighting for these fields. Instead of blocking your opponent, you can just add extra meeple, and your opponent can't do anything. So at this moment, at the start, I think Mingo was really playing better and getting this point. But now Arab really managed to turn this around and demonstrate some great field play. with this blocking over here and controlling the situation. And yeah, see, I think it's going to be something like +10 for Arab. +6. Exactly. So you see, it's only +6. You get 3 points for the roads, 4 points for the city. So it was this kind of strat, or that can cost. Really interesting that you'd be surprised in Carcassonne you can win without the field. Everybody keeps fighting for the field. When you can recognize it's not necessary, then that's the place where you can really get your opponent. Usually when you have a 100% chance of winning. So something to analyze for the future, but still it's not over. Mingo is 1 game down. And we get to see at least one more game. All right, what's happening in the bronze game match in the meantime? Let's have a look at that. Thank you. Huh, interesting. Karki's offline. Zach Bell gets the forfeit. Well, that's up to the organizer to decide, but it's disappointing that we get to see Carcassonne. Anyway, or was he just too disappointed after losing the semifinals? Oh, interesting. So he actually, maybe as a joke, that he'll concede the first place match, which is a bit disappointing for viewers, but maybe understandable sentiment. Because he was viewed as a favorite in the semifinals. Not much match. Anyway, has yes. All right. Final. Vermont. Kerry did already take down one player from Illinois. It's definitely helpful that Arab gets the best starting tile in Carcassonne. Okay, that's interesting how Arab implies that he's okay with losing the game. I wouldn't be. When I participate, I really don't like losing. I want to win everything 2-0, always possible. Oh well, thanks, Zach Bell, and I guess congratulations on your third place. Yeah, uh, a little bit anticlimactic, but if my opponent would, I'd take it. Third place. Hmm. Also, an interesting move by Mingo. It's certainly you could do the same thing, but you could just grab the 2-point road as it is, or yeah. Actually, I didn't quite get that at all. But we'll see. At the very least, Kerry now has to hope that doesn't get blocked over here, because it's really unfortunate to. Good move by Arab. Generally, when you place monasteries, you want to place it next to your opponent's features. Yeah, good move by Mingo as well, because your opponent will score points for you, like this. And if you don't score, if your opponent doesn't score points, then it's good for you because you get like an 8-1 advantage if this square gets blocked over here. Interesting. Uh, by the way, speaking of monasteries, there's some top players like Vladimir Kovalev and also Kithara who very often value so much this advantage that um, a monastery next to your opponent feature gives. They prefer a monastery spot next to an opponent feature, even if it's low scoring than another spot on the board. So I've often seen Keither, for example, there can be a 6 point spot available um, on the board, but he would still go for a 3 point spot that next to an opponent feature, especially next to two opponents' features. The way I call it is that you use instrument of control, because basically, if you one feature of yours next to an appears, then whichever player needs these features to be continued the most is not in control of the situation. Okay, grammar checked out. I hope you got the meaning. Basically, you want to build monasteries next to your opponent's stuff. So far, very courageous road meeple from Mingo. I like it. I mean, it's fine. And maybe what she could have done is just scored 2 points where and waited for a better tile to continue this. On the other hand, already out, and this tile's already out, so there was some blocking potentials indeed. Okay, so we have a final confirmation that he's not playing the bronze medal match. Oh, actually, it's interesting. Should I congratulate both players on going to Essen or not? Because at the very least, this year there's going to be two participants from every country. That depends on whether there's at all any U.S. championship in 2020. So maybe you can, some of the viewers can advise if you know. Well, at the very least, at least one of these two people is going to Essen, and whichever person that is, they're playing at a good level, so they are gonna pose difficulties for the players there. Mingo going for the field fight. And Arab not responding immediately. Which could be good. But actually maybe placing a field meeple here is not such a bad idea. It doesn't get blocked here very often, and it comes with tempo because when you connect it you use 3 extra points. So very often, like, I like to place my field meeples in otherwise proper. Either I place them somewhere um, where I can connect them with tempo, or somewhere where the field is already worth something. So if I'm, let's say, fighting for a 24 point field, I like to put my field meeples at a smaller 6 point field if possible, because in that case, if I don't connect, I have some assurance in form of these points, and maybe I can develop it as a counter field. Or if, depending on the events on the landscape, I can have even other conditions. Oh, yeah, I guess for the U.S. Championship, the issue of being self-financed is more acute than for European. Because I'm not sure what's a trip to Germany these days, but definitely has to be in digits. Uh, so when I used to play, unfortunately not this year, everybody keeps asking me, but no, I'm not going to participate this year because I lost the national championships. So I will just try to play better in the national championships next year and go to Essen then. But when I used to play in Essen representing Latvia, at least we were fortunate that the board game publisher that organized the national championship, they sometimes in full, sometimes in part, they managed to sponsor us. They paid for the trip. So we got both the Latvian and Lithuanian player. We got to share accommodation with them. Yeah, that was pretty nice experience actually. Yeah, good move by Arab, not letting Kerry complete this too easily. Here comes a nice triple purpose move. Check this out. So what this does, this well, obviously starts a connection to the city. At the same time, it blocks a field connection point. It's eliminated a point for field connection, and it covers up for this road because now it's much harder to block than before. Always, you want to go for multi-purpose moves in Carcassonne whenever possible. That's where Carcassonne has its chess. Actually, Carcassonne has so many similarities with chess, and also Carcassonne has similarities with poker, but with this game as well. That's why I like it so much. It's just like of everything. Although if you've poker before, it should help you with Carcassonne if you know like which or which not. So with these multi-purpose moves, that's the one thing where chess strategy can do a lot for you. Also, there's so many analogies for. Very often, you have to choose: do you block? Do you develop? For example, if you get a tile, you can either score, you can block, or you can connect a meeple, or you can block a field connection or something like this. And this often is the analogy in chess is like, do you pawn or do you improve your position? And in Carcassonne, I'm most clever, which appears to be working so far. Of course, there are exceptions. Many, many exceptions, which makes the whole thing so interesting. Oh, that's actually the Mexican situation, yeah, that the first place can go, and because you can. And that's actually nice. It's going to be a trip from Mexico as well. That they're covering that. Then they can definitely make sure that the national team is represented by the uh, by the strongest participant. Yes, I have been using chess lingo, not all deliberately. I've also been using poker terminology, also not always deliberately, and I'm trying to cut down on that because probably not everybody has that experience and will be able to understand that. But there's some concepts that are really useful, like expected value. So, for example, you can, when you're deciding between two moves, and let's say if you see a move gives you 4 points with a 60% probability, you can think that this is the same as scoring what it is 4 points. Yeah? Yeah, 2.4 points. This means if you're choosing between that and a move that's worth 2 points, then you kind of go for that. So that could be only works in the early stages of the game where really the number of points or the ultimate number of points matters. When they're in the middle of the game, what happens is the win condition crystallizes. Okay, is there a big field or not? Like, what do you need to do? And then really, instead of point, thinking about win probabilities. Like, how does it increase the probability of you winning? And it very often it has then, regardless of the expected value in terms of points, um, it can very often happen that if you 3 points, it doesn't impact the win probability. If there's a big field or something. So then, really, what I really value when I say is the change in win probability as the result of that move. Of course, it's extremely complicated to calculate, and you don't really have to do that, and it's really impossible to calculate. But based on experience, intuition, spatial understanding, and all kind of things, you can sort of estimate where that probability and that could help you. On the other hand, I very much like Takafumi Mochizuki, aka Pindutron, saying how did it go? Experience beats probability. Yeah, I thought that was pretty nice. That sometimes you need to make moves that are on the surface negative expected value. Yeah, expected value is definitely not exclusive to poker, but that's like where I heard the first time, and that's where I heard it a lot as well. Um, I have heard it outside poker, but I'm not sure if I really heard it in any other games. Anything makes me feel better about saying that, so I'll just keep using this term. All right, back to the game. So we have a blocked monastery, and Mingo has 2 blocked meeples. On the other hand, I still like Mingo's position because there's not too many tiles to go until the end, and Mingo has the 11-point advantage. Actually, a 14, okay, a 10-point overall if you calculate the board. I'm already assuming that these fields are going to be connected. The only thing that's possible. Oh, okay. Well, there's this guy as well. So this is more likely than I think a move that Kerry's considering over here is to try and break a city and at the same time break this field connection over here. That would certainly serve some damage. Instead, she goes for the more conservative approach, and I understand that. Maybe usually I'm reluctant to give my opponent extra points. In fact, I literally, my last video was a game analysis of a game where I managed to win because my opponent was trying to block me by adding points to my features. And the point difference is really comes down mostly to these few points that my opponents added to my feature. So, of course, these moves you should consider extra carefully. On the other hand, maybe in this situation with 18 meeples left, this could be a nice way to try and secure this win over here. Big decision with the monastery. Let's say potential choices. I see really 3 choices actually. One is you grab the 8 points, and this is the most tempting one for me. Its downside is that you are not very likely to get your meeple back because now there's only 1 tile left. Oh, wait, 0 tiles, yeah. So that was the last tile. A 50% chance. But still, not bad. 8 points. It's a lot of points. The second option I had in mind was to place this monastery for 6 points over here, and then get an extra point when Arab connects, like that, for example. And with the mon over here, Mingo could have also tried blocking this connection together with the monastery, so that would have been nice. This one, I guess this is to cover up for a field connection. So what Mingo wants to do now is just simply to let the game finish with her points advantage, which she no longer has this city. So, maybe this move now, uh, after the fact, looks even more appealing. So, what can Mingo do to win this game? She definitely cannot win it with this style. So, guess what she could do now? And drop this tile somewhere. It's not really possible to connect to the city, nor it is very valuable. So the thing is, the difference in points is not actually. If anything, they're sort of tied. Yeah, phew, that's good. Because of course the move would to place. Of course, she has to attack. I can't really. It's until the end, but most and yeah, she'll be losing some value out. But the field is one that's 18 points. That will probably, if she can over, that will be enough to win. Which is why, if I were Arab, probably I would have placed here myself to make sure that Kerry doesn't get this point. So as it's looking to me, it's really now or never. I'm not sure what another path to victory could be. Alrighty, there she goes. I think she was really kind of calculating which side to turn with, which is correct. And I assume that she knows that they're more curved than their crossroads. Because they are 3 crossroads with the cities. Excellent move by Arab. Oh, it's brilliant. So first of all, it gets 3 points over here, this move. And then there are 3 tiles that suit over here. Well, Mingo got 1. And I think this, well, that was okay because she was trying to cover up for a connection. But I think a better move was trying to block over here. That's actually so she needs luck. I definitely put it over here somehow. And the 4 suitable tiles, which makes this move even better. Honestly, I really like how Arab is playing this. Specific on the fields, the previous game, now this one have like good spatial vision, and there we go. There comes the title for Alan over here of Illinois. I'm not sure how long does it take to fly from Chicago to Essen to Dusseldorf. I guess it could be some 7 hours. Right, so what is, guess, plus 12 or so for Arab, or even... Oh, oh no, it was, game was already almost decided. Yeah, well done. Congrats to Arab. Almost back to an expert rating there. And also, yeah, congrats on a performance by Mingo. Really well played. It was actually a really entertaining game to watch. Glad this happened quickly. Just 3 hours, because the early games were so decisive. Great run for Mingo. Took down 2 of the favorites, and really nice field play at the end from Arab. So what's going to happen next is we're going to wrap up the stream in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much for staying with me, and thank you for the players to give us Carcassonne to comment on. Next one in a couple of days is going to come an game analysis video, most likely from the World Team Carcassonne Championship that happened earlier. There were way too many good games. And then after a few ones like this, next stream would probably be thanks, Marco, for watching. The next stream would probably be in October when the European Championship kicks in. Right. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.